Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. My name is Muhammad Shabil and today I would like to present my PPT for cloud computing class. Introduction for this PPT. In this problem-based task, I was given the task of network administrator and was tasked with configuring a network infrastructure topology as illustrated using my AWS console root account. Then, I need to create a topology that includes a VPC with public and private subnets. This topology will employ a total of 3 EC2 instances. To connect to the internet, I will have a web server, a database server for my web server, and NAT instance for the database server. My web server should also be reachable through my domain name. The first task is I need to create VPC using my AWS. Firstly, we need to go to VPC dashboard and choose your VPC to create new VPC, which is here. Secondly, we insert the VPC name, which is PBU VPC from the topology has given, and put IPv4 CIDR from the table, which is 10.0.0.0/16. After done, do all that thing, we just click create VPC and all done. The second task is I need to create subnet. Firstly, I need to go to my VPC dashboard and choose subnet option to create the subnet. And then we just fill up the details from table given, which is PBU public using zone 1A, and the IPv4 CIDR is 10.0.1.0/24. The name for subnet public is PBU VPC-public. Then we add new tag for another subnet, which is PBU VPC-private. With the same step from public subnet, but we need to insert another IP, which is 10.0.2.0/24. PBU VPC private using the same zone because this subnet plays at the same zone with public subnet. And then after create this subnet, we need right click to PBU VPC-public, and then we need to enable auto assign public IP4 address for this public subnet. Third task is to create internet gateway and attach to the VPC. Just like previous step, we need to go to VPC dashboard and then select the internet gateway to configure the internet gateway. We need to use PBU VPC-IGW for our internet gateway name. Then attach the VPC to PBU VPC that we had created before. Next, we need to configure EC2 instance NAT. Firstly, click Launch Instance to create a NAT instance. Secondly, fill up the NAT name, which is PBU VPC-NAT as a picture in the upper right. And then search NAT and choose the top of NAT from AMI community. And then this NAT doesn't need to use key pair, and then configure the network setting by set the subnet in public as the topology given and enable auto assign IP and create new security group, which is PBU VPC-WebSG. Then we configure the security group rules by add SSH and HTTP, then set the source type from anywhere. After launch the instance, right click on NAT and select change source destination check, then stop the source destination check and all done for this NAT instance. Next, configure EC2 instance web. EC2 instance web using PBU VPC-web name, and then just like step on NAT, but on the web we need to create key pair using web server name and select existing security group that has been designed on NAT instance earlier. And why we using the same subnet? Because the topology wants us to set this instance web in the same subnet with NAT. Step for creating EC2 instance database is the same as NAT instance, but there are a little difference. Firstly, we need to choose private subnet because the topology wants this database on private subnet. Secondly, we need to create a security group for this instance name PBU-VPC-DBSG and need to add security group rules SSH, HTTP, and MySQL/Aurora by setting the source type from anywhere. After done for all steps for create instance, we need to configure root table for public. First of all, we have go to VPC dashboard and pick the root table. Then we just need to fill in the name as set out in the table PBU VPC-RT1 and choose VPC that we have created before. After create the root table, we need to click the root to edit root. Then we need to add root by fill the destination 0.0.0.0/0 and set internet gateway as a target. Lastly, we need to edit subnet allocation by pick public subnet to insert for public root table. Steps for create root table private are the same as root table public, but there is little change, that is using PBU VPC-R2 name and use PBU VPC for this root table. And then for the edit root, we use PBU VPC-NAT as a target for destination 0.0.0.0/0 and we pick PBU VPC-private to insert in this root table private. For create web page, we need to using computer command prompt and insert the command cd downloads to get into the download routes. Then we paste the SSH command that we get from web EC2 after connect it. After we saw the AMI symbol, we need to insert the command which is sudo yum-y install httpd systemctl enable httpd systemctl start httpd cd/var/www/html and nanoindex.html to get into the nano command to insert a command and then get the result like a picture on the left. Lastly, to create domain name, we need to go to Freenom and log into Freenom and choose my domain from the service to get our domain, just like the picture below, right? And then we should copy the domain for the next step. Next, we need to go back to AWS and go to route 53. We need to create host zone by paste the domain we got from Freenom. Then we copy the name server and paste on Freenom management tools and then save it. Finally, we create record by paste the IP from web server and set TTL to 90 seconds and paste the domain from Freenom to get the result like the picture on the right. That's all from me. Thank you for listening.